Present is Genesis School, and they're asking for $25,000 for an information research library. And here with us tonight, we have Pamela Pearson, the Executive Director, and Paul Lerner. Welcome to Genesis School.
Good evening. My name is Pamela Pearson. I'm the Executive Director of Genesis School.
And I'm Paul Lerner. I'm a development consultant. Don't hate me, please.
Well, let me share a little bit about Genesis. Genesis is an alternative charter school. Genesis has been around for over 30 years, serving at-risk and high-risk youth. We're in our new facility that we've been in for now about 10 years. When Genesis was when we moved into our new facility, it was part of phase 2 to add a library to our school. So right now we serve students between 5th and 9th grade. Many of them come from the Kansas City, Missouri school district area. Some of them are students who have been displaced because of low academic skills, as well as behavior. So we serve those students who are really struggling in a traditional setting. So what we have done is we have embarked upon sorry, excuse me, I apologize. We have embarked upon a campaign for a library. Many of the students who come to Genesis are really 2 and 3 grade levels behind when it comes to reading. So we've implemented a reading program called Strategic Reading. This particular program allows us to focus on evaluating our students pertaining to comprehension, but also fluency. So many of them struggle in that area, so we provide one-on-one instruction for those students through reading clinicians. So once we get the students back on track, our goal is to be able to help them access the resources for those skills that they're learning to be able to apply. So many of them that attend Genesis do not have the resources in their homes. They don't have the technology, nor do they have books as much as we would like for them to have in their homes. So what we were asking, because of our partnership with the Kansas City Public Library, we were able to come together, and as we begin to start our campaign for our library, that it will allow us to network in to the Kansas City Public Library. Our students will be able to go through, they'll be able to access any of the research materials that's on their system, as well as we'll also be able to check out books. Many times our families are we're encouraging them to improve their reading skills. We want them to be able to do different things at home, but the families are really struggling with trying to get those reading materials in place. So what we do to help our families, we actually do monthly trips to the library. So we take about 40 students every month to the library. So it takes about 3 trips on a monthly basis to be able to get through the entire school. So that takes about 2 to 3 hours. So we lose instructional time that we could be using during that time to be able to meet many of our students' needs when it comes to academics. So we're asking for your support in helping us to establish our information carol, which will be named after you, to be able to provide those services to our students who can then go right in on a daily basis to access that information. We're looking at 6 computers, the carousel, we're looking at the printer, the wiring. One of the things that makes it a little bit more expensive is because when Genesis was renovated into as we moved into the new facility, it was not set up for wireless access points in place. So we would have to rewire the entire facility from, as my staff says, the closet, to be able to take that and bring that in. The space that we're looking at right now, it is just a empty space. We don't have the building, so it's just strictly, it's a rock garden. So our goal is to close that in, to offer that to not only to our students, but also to our families. So with our partnership with the Kansas City Public Library, they have agreed to be able to help us to be able to access that and come in and train our staff as well as our students how to use that, their system to be able to do that. We're also looking at how our families can come in. Many of our, we find that we serve second and third generation families who struggle with reading, struggle with having access to certain things. So what we're looking at doing is bringing our families in the evenings, our parents, our mothers. Over 78% of our families that we serve are single moms. So bringing them in, being able to provide daycare service for them in the evening, and teaching them how to be able to go to the library during the daytime when they are available, to go in and check out resources, but also to be able to do research. Many times we find that our parents are struggling with how to go to the library and use the service that they have available, how to find jobs, how to find information about if they want to go back to school, if they want to research on how to move their child to the next level from the standpoint if they want to go to college. So all those things we're looking at. But also, for many of our families, we'll give them the opportunities to be able to check out books. We will have a loan service agreement between the Kansas City Public Library to be able to have the students, based on their reading skills from the reading program, we are able to identify where they are, what their Lexile score is, and then assign books to the students. So that list, they can go to the Carol, look up information, check those books out. We'll go pick those up, bring them back to the school, and then those students can take them back home. All right. You want to add more?
We even have 3 minutes worth
Three?
of questions.
All right, 3 minutes worth of questions. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm confused. So there's a campaign to build a library currently.
Yes, ma'am.
And what this will do is allow you to communicate with the Kansas City Public Library.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you are willing to, as kids engage the new library through this information system, you'll go get the books they want and bring them to the children.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Then there is currently a library at the school.
No, ma'am. We do not have a current library. Well, we have books in all of our classrooms that we use. So because we do not have a library on campus, we actually bus our students to the library.
So this is a virtual library for them. They get
Yes.
the experience by being bused there, and then but they can continually check out books through this.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And do you have funding to build, what's on the chart here? Like, it looks like it's a library.
What you see on the chart is actually the floor plan for the library.
Okay.
So what you see is basically what the library will look like once everything is in place. We are 45% to our goal of actually breaking ground and starting construction. Yes, sir.
What, $250,000?
I'm sorry.
Is your goal
Yes, sir.
$250,000?
The $250,000, that includes
That's
construction.
The funding you're asking from
Yes.
Impact EC?
Yes, sir. Yes. That $250,000 includes the furnishing as well as the construction. And Jamie Dunn has been kind enough to be able to help us with that. Yes, ma'am.
You know, when you get the funds to build the library, will the virtual library still be needed? Will it just be an enhancement?
No, it will be needed. Because of the space, it's a very small space, and because of that, we'll have to use that as our means of being able to communicate back and forth. Yes, ma'am.
Will you implement the virtual library before your library's built, or not until after you have all your funding for the library building?
Not until we were able to have the building in place. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I think just to clarify, maybe what makes sense is, again, this grant request is for all of the computers that you'll need to be able to have the access, and it's really focused just on those dollars to put those resources in that room.
Yes, sir.
And will that be able to be completed in 2010?
That's our goal. Yes, ma'am. Within
you're at
18 months, our goal is to
45%.
be able to break ground and have that in place.
In 18 months?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?